all that vines, dug them up, and I planted grass there, and it's much better. But I go on her yard to cut her grass. I planted grass seed in her yard as well because when I cut all the vines out, the vines were on both properties, primarily hers, and I had literally to get the vines out. I dug all her yard up, so I had to plant grass to make it look better. But now it looks a lot better. It's like it's been a year. It took me like twice, once to cut the trees down, once to go back with her permission, or I should say, cut the trees that fell down up. That was one time, and then going back a couple of days, trying to cut all the vines and stuff out. Laverne, I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm long-winded. I'm talking too
Oh yeah,
much.
I know. If you've been cutting the grass, that's what you you may not feel like doing this session. I wouldn't blame you. I haven't done my yard work. I need to go out there. There's these weed. There's a weed right by the door that I have to get.
Yeah,
So I can't say that I didn't know it was there because
yeah,
it's right outside the door.
yeah,
Though I usually walk out the garage sometimes, but if I go out my front door, the first thing that greets me now is a big weed.
yeah. You live in Durham, right?
Morrisville. I used to be in Durham, right
Morrisville.
down there, up of 55 and 54, up in there.
55 and 54 is where I live.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
You,
Yeah, I used to live down in there.
you know where Parkwood is?
Yes, I live before you get to Parkwood.
I am south of Parkwood.
I don't know north and south here, unfortunately. I was used to Florida where everything was north and south.
Yeah,
Here everything's a circle. So
yeah,
I and you think you're going north or south and not, and then you end up east and west. I'm like, okay, I don't get it.
yeah. The road that goes north south, I think Highway 55 around here goes north south, and I want to say that's 55 east west is the actual road designation.
Mm.
And if you get to Cary, I had a friend, he said the roads in Cary, they all have the meander characteristic or something like that. The, the meander attribute. Because they all just kind of run in circles.
Yeah, because the road name of the road changes if you aren't careful.
Yeah,
You're like, where am I? Because I got on the Durham Freeway trying to find Duke Street, I get, or some street, and I couldn't find it because on I was coming, I passed it, and so then I coming back, and I never could see a Duke Street. And I said, I'm back in RTP, and the person I was going to see, he said, no, it's when you're coming, something about the road's got a different name on each side of the road. I'm like,
yeah.
okay,
I want to say it's Duke and Gregson. So from like hitting
right.
the north way to south, maybe it's Gregson
Right,
or the
and
other
I'm
way
looking for Duke
around.
Street on the way back because I had passed it. I said, I don't see a Duke Street, and I'm back in RTP again. So where
Yeah,
do you live?
yeah.
They live way out there somewhere, but I can't remember how I got out there. Straight out Duke Street for a while, and I don't know, near a was there a dam out there or something was out there
There's
where
a
the people do those ecology things for some
yes,
river. I can't remember what's out that way.
someplace over off of Main Street. I think Main Street turns into Hillsborough Road, which is just what you're saying about the roads changing
Yes,
name.
I ran into that before, even downtown. It confused me. I said, "This isn't very big. This isn't as big as Fort Lauderdale," but I would get confused because of the one way streets, and then the name changes would also get me.
Yeah. Well, there's a watershed over there, a small watershed. So are you from Florida?
Yes,
Where are you from in Florida?
in the North Central Florida, Gainesville area, but I lived in Fort Lauderdale, South Florida most of the time. So I moved up here
Mm.
from Fort Lauderdale, Sunrise, Florida.
Andrew is from Florida. He
Oh,
moved
okay.
up here. Andrew Burris, he moved up here a few years ago to go to get a job. Yada yada yada. All right. Well, let me see. I got a gazillion things to do today, and if no one's into it, see if I got any emails or anything.
Yeah, the yard work may be calling people. Mine is not calling me
It's a
enough.
yeah. It's a nice day.
Yeah.
Oh, so let's see. Andrew, he will not be attending. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Other emails. I put it in Slack. That's an event wrap up for the GCP meeting. That looks like that's it. Well, unless you've got something pressing, maybe we just call it a day today, since it's just us. I'll wait another 3 minutes to make it 10 minutes after.
Oh yeah, that's fine because yeah, I have to do some homework. I wouldn't be able to stay long. I just stayed for maybe the first hour, but I was trying to figure out what you guys are doing. The second recipe, is that the coffee consumption?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because I thought you could just change that from recognizing a cup to recognizing a mask. Though you'd have to, the mask would always have to be on the person's face if you wanted to make that do a make track people who were wearing a mask, but
Yeah.
it seemed close.
The one that was on there, it's the coffee consumption has a facial
Right. It's
recognition
got a face
capability.
and then you recognize a cup.
Yeah,
Once you see a face, then you go check to see if there's a cup in the right
yeah.
quadrant. But I guess the cup could be various places, but a mask needs to be on your face, otherwise it's not good. But I thought that's interesting. So they're getting close to that. But all
Yeah,
these competitions I see now are all looking at masks or various things to do with coronavirus. So.
yeah. I saw something. I want to say it was a YouTube video. I saw it, but I didn't watch it, and I thought about it, and relative to this. So Amazon and that last project, it used recognition, AWS recognition. I don't know much about
Right.
AWS recognition. We need to look into it. But there was another thing saying it had I can't remember the name of it, but the icon was a camera, like a movie camera kind of icon. And what that made me think was that, oh, the recognition works on images. Maybe they've built something that will actually do a sequence of frames, like a video.
Oh,
And I remember Google had something like that with video where you could give it a YouTube URL, for instance, and it would go through and identify all the different things as they appeared on the screen. So like if a person, let's say it was a minute long video and there was a person visible from in the video from 15 seconds to 45 seconds, it would put like a timeline, and it would put a marker, person start 15 seconds, end 45 seconds. And so I think maybe Amazon was doing something like that. And if they're doing something like that, that's, your machine learning becomes trivial, right? You're just calling an API and letting
right.
AWS recognition or AWS lens or whatever it was called do its thing. So much to learn.
Yeah, that should be standard if all those cameras do that, where they're recognizing people.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to the mall and tracking you and checking on things. Because that's what a lot of countries did that for coronavirus. We don't do that in the United States, but
Yeah.
those other countries could track you more. Do more than
Do you,
we have different laws here. So.
when you were working in IBM, or maybe you just saw it on TV? I used to see it on TV all the time. There was remember like those IBM, they still do them, it's still kind of like their brand, but they would have these like futuristic IBM advertisements for TV, and they would typically come on like Sunday, any of the talk Sunday news programs, like
Yeah.
Meet the Press would be one. I'd watch Meet the Press, and you would always see 2 or 3 of those commercials, and it made me happy. Oh yeah, I'm an IBM employee, and we do cool stuff, but I don't. But anyway, there was one where it was like in the future. It shows like a hacker walking in to a supermarket late at night, and he's like putting stuff in his pockets, and then he goes to walk out, and the security guard says, "Hey, good to see you, Joe, again," or something like that. And he's like, "Yeah, thanks." And IBM, it's like contactless payment, right? So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, in the retail store systems, they'd always been looking into that.
yeah,
Or
well,
other place, whoever does AI, I guess, is looking at that. The first person who's done that is right. AWS has the store where you can shop and not have to pay
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah,
contactless.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, when you was talking about the mall and the facial recognition, it just reminded me of that I think Amazon and maybe even Apple have some stores now where there's no human attendees. You literally go pick something up, and when you walk out the door, it deducts from your Amazon Prime or something. So
Yeah, that's been coming for a while, so
yeah, the future
that'll be
is
good.
now. All right, so we're at 13:12. Andrew's not going to be here. You have homework to do. I have a little bit more lawn work, and then I can hop in the shower. And I guess maybe we'll just do that. We'll call it a day. What do you say?